You know that thing people do when they get on stage that's sometimes really great and sometimes really awkward? The talking at the beginning of the performance? That's called banter. Let's talk about it. The first concert I ever went to was a country concert, or a concert for a country singer who was on his H2O tour. And I learned so much from that experience. Number one, it was the first time I ever thought, I'm going to be on one of these stages one of these days, sometime in the future. This was in high school. Another thing that happened is I learned a lot about banter from like a really down-to-earth performer. Going into the concert, I didn't know anything about the songs or anything about the artist. And so, of course, I crammed a lot of his songs into my mind before I went there so I wouldn't be excluded. And then we were in the nosebleeds, but something happened in the middle of the concert. It was going great. The songs were amazing. The choreography was great. But in the middle of the concert, the artist comes and he sits down at the edge of the stage and he starts talking to us about his childhood. And I promise there were thousands of people in that auditorium, or stadium really, and it was silence. Like we were all listening intently. And even though I was in the nosebleeds and I knew nothing about this man before a few hours prior to that concert, I felt like I knew his entire life story by the end of that small segment where he was just opening up about his life. And a big lesson I took away from that is that it's okay to be vulnerable when you're talking to an audience. In fact, it humanizes you. It's one of the things that I remember most about that concert at all. Not the songs, although I did remember them for a bit after that, but that connection that was made during that part of the concert. It was huge. It actually led to me listening to his songs after the concert and falling in love with lots of his music afterward, which I likely would not have done if he hadn't been so open. So I'd like to encourage you, it's totally okay to be vulnerable when you're on stage. It's okay to say, hey, I'm feeling a bit nervous. If you are, it's okay to be authentic and say what you need to say. While planning is huge when it comes to performance, this is an area where speaking from the heart, really fruitful.